Hey everybody, and welcome to another ModulGlock devlog. We're out here on Relay Station in the early afternoon, and it is just gorgeous out. Today we're looking at specifically a new category called muzzle devices. As you can see, I've got a threaded barrel attached to our Glock currently, and I'm bucking the trend of making muzzle devices actual attachments. One, partially for performance reasons, but two, I have a lot more control over recoil and how each of these muzzle devices affects the recoil of the handgun. So up first we have a couple of just visual thread protectors here. If you do want to attach a suppressor, go ahead and select No Device to expose the threads, and then you can attach a suppressor from there. But that's not what we're here for today. We're looking at recoil reduction. So that is compensators and muzzle brakes. Going through them all here, we've got the Carver 3-port, Carver 4-port, skipped over one there. We've got the double diamond. This one comes in a couple finishes here, both gold and kind of this raw look. We have a Killer Innovations Velocity compensator, the famous KKM 4-port, and just due to request, if you want to look like you've shot a couple thousand rounds through this without cleaning it, there is a clean and dirty skin available for it. We also have the Lone Wolf compensator. Not a huge visual fan of this one, but it does work. And up last we have this Pro 6-port compensator that comes in black and FDE. I am quite partial to this one. So each of these reduce recoil in their own way. They all have their own muzzle flash and blast patterns, smoke coming out every which way. I will actually leave those to you guys to discover because we have a lot to get through. So we have obviously a couple of threaded barrel options in here, such as the KKM, the double diamond. But let's say you've just got a stock Glock, but still can't handle that massive 9mm recoil. Fear not, there are still a couple options for you. Up first is the Strike G4 compensator. This one is actually pretty interesting in that it is mounted to the slide directly. So it reciprocates with the slide. Pretty neat. It's not the most effective, but it is something. Up next is the Mass Driver. This one is mounted directly to the guide rod. So as you can see, it is independent from the barrel there. I also glossed over this Fisher Development 917 suppressor. This is the goofy, gimmicky frame-mounted suppressor, and it is available for Glock 17 and Glock 19 frames only. Anyways, that's everything regarding muzzle devices and barrels. They all reduce recoil differently, and we may remember that there are a couple of ported and compensated barrels themselves, such as the G18C. And as you can see, it's incompatible with any muzzle devices just because it's doing its own thing. So that goes for the G18C and Glock compensated barrels. So if we go back to our Glock barrel here, we can see actually we have a new Glock 17 length barrel, and that is the Agency barrel. Right now I've got it set to this kind of custom anodized blue race look, which looks really slick with a raw unfinished slide, but it also comes in black and gold, of course, and that is a flush fit barrel to the front of the slide. But let's go over some additional additions. First things first, I'm actually going to jump to the G18C slide, and I have a pretty wacky addition that I've just really been wanting to add. Where is it? I think it's up here. But we have what I'm calling the G18 shielded rear sight, but this is the Modern Warfare 3 G18 rear sight. It is wacky, nonsensical, but it does work, and if you're after that nostalgic sight picture, there you go. We also glossed over the steel rear and front sight. This is very similar to the Glock standard sight, except in that it is steel, it's a little bit higher contrast compared to the standard front sight, which can get a little bit washed out in certain lighting conditions. This is actually a perfect example. So, some new sights there. While we're over on this side, we actually have some new Magwells, and I did make some logic changes to Magwells. Up first is the Blacklist M² Magwell. It's a slightly more competition but low profile Magwell, and it comes in gold and red for your very tacky race gun needs. Up next, I have added an SLR Magwell, which looks very nice and low profile. There's that logo down there. And this also comes in FDE. And it is a slightly mismatched FDE to a Glock frame, just to give it some visual distinction there. But I love this one, and will probably be running it on most builds. So, that's everything new, but as you may see, there is not, the Raven Freya is no longer in this list. That is because I changed that out to be a G19 exclusive Magwell. So we'll switch over to this G19 frame, and as we can see, our Raven G19 is back, and as well, we have our Blacklist and SLR Magwells available to us here as well as the other ones that I've shown off previously. So, enough about this, whoops, goodness gracious. Enough about that build. Let's show off some of this stuff in action. So, up first is my, what I'm calling my personal preferred carry right now. This has the modified G19 framework with the SLR grip, a new Terran Tactical extension color, olive drab. This is featuring a new barrel that I haven't shown off, the Killer, right? What's that one called? It's the Killer Innovations, the Velocity barrel. It comes in black and gold here, with the Pro 6-port compensator on there and an RMR. Anyways, let's see how this, we can actually do a one-to-one recoil comparison here. If we unequip this and just kind of see steel at close range is pretty loud, and if we throw that compensator back on, that return to center is just a lot snappier with that compensator. And of course, you can stack this all together and create absolute abominations. We've got the 4-port on the 17L with this crazy extended setup, super race gunny. We can just see how the recoil speaks for itself here. Yeah, even one-handed, that is very manageable. Music to my ears. Anyways, that's everything we've got for you this week. We'll check back in when I've got something new for you guys. Anyways, take care. A new category called muzzle devices.